In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I built a $2 million property portfolio by the time I turned 21. Unfortunately, not all property can make money. I actually brought these properties at an even younger age than this. I'm so happy to play the long-term game. So have that income goal, save, and make it a non-negotiable every single week. A little bit of a background about what I do and who I am is I am a personal trainer. However, I do a little bit more than just being a personal trainer. I do run my own coaching company, so I do have coaches who do work underneath me. I've got different investments in other areas as well. So myself being a personal trainer, I would say is kind of what I'm known for. However, I do have a lot of other things that go on in the works. So when it comes to investing into property, one of the main things that I would say to you is you have to have your why. What is important to you? When you want to achieve anything in life, you have to have a why that is strong enough. It's one thing just to buy property, right? Just to go live in. And that's fine. If that's your goal, absolutely amazing. However, it's another thing to buy property with the intention of making money down the track. Because unfortunately, not all property can make money. I'm so happy to play the long-term goal, the long-term game. And that's the thing with properties. You have to be so willing to be able to sit and hold that for a long period of time. There are many different cycles when it comes to the financial market, and you have to be willing to be able to ride out the highs and the lows of the financial market. So even when it's slower and your repayments are higher and things a little bit tighter, you have to be willing to hold that and know and trust the fact that it is still going to pay off in that long term. So you do have to be smart when it comes to choosing what kind of property you want for your goal. If you are like myself and someone who is quite business minded and you have and want to set yourself up for success financially in the future, you have to think about what's going to bring the most income for you, short term and long term. So for me, my approach and what I've been able to do and how I've been able to build a $2 million property portfolio by the time I turned 21 is what I have done is I brought off plan. So I actually brought these properties at an even younger age than this. This is just like when I had kind of started building properties. So what it means to be able to buy off the plan, for example, is buying before the building's actually built. The benefit of buying off plan is that you get it for at a cheaper price than if you were to go buy it for once it's already built. So by the time my building was already built, I had already gained an equity of an extra $300,000 on top of what I had already paid for it. So if I wanted to sell it, I've already got my money back. And the properties that make the most money are blue chip properties. And what that means is being as close to those major cities as possible. Those are the properties that's going to go up the most. Yes, they are more expensive, but it's for a reason. It comes at a cost for sure. However, we see that return on investment, absolutely, it's so much higher. If I could give you a piece of advice when it comes to buying property, is just to have a goal. And for me, I knew what my goal was, and I knew how much I needed to earn to have and save for that initial deposit. When you have that clear goal, it makes saving so easy. You need to be so focused on your goal that not getting there isn't an option. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is they say, oh, I want to buy a house, but they're not really sure how much they should be saving, what their deposit needs to be, all of the costs involved. They don't have the right people in their circle, they don't have the right people to ask, they haven't got the correct knowledge, so they don't know how much to be saving, and then they're just trying to save here and there, and they're kind of splurging a little bit too much because they haven't got that clear goal and that deadline as to where they want it. I started saving as much as I can. I said, okay, well, how much, if I try and limit my spending as much as I can, how much can I actually put away in my bank as a non-negotiable every single week? Even when things, and I have a big bill that comes out, how much can I put away as a non-negotiable? You'll be surprised at how much you can live below your means when you actually set that out for yourself. So have that income goal, save, and make it a non-negotiable every single week. For me, doing spreadsheets every single week is one of my favorite things to do. I go through my income every single week. I've done it for years. I still do it to this day. Every single Thursday, I go through and I highlight it green every single time I put away that amount in savings, and that way I know. And if I do ever miss a week, for example, maybe I did have like a really big bill or an expense that I had to pay and I didn't put away that week, it's in red, so I still have to go back. So that means I need to make, let's just say I was trying to save $500 that week. That means in a few weeks, if I still haven't paid, I have to go pay it. I have to try and find another $500. Maybe I have to sell some things, you know, to try and make that work. When you set that as a non-negotiable for yourself, you'll find ways, I absolutely promise you. And another thing that I think is massive is honestly just mindset. If you don't have the correct money mindset when it comes to making big investments and buying into property. It can be any kind of investment. And I think that's something that a lot of people underestimate or don't realize how much mindset work actually goes into buying a property and the mental battles that you kind of need to overcome. And something that you also have to be really mentally be able to be okay with is when you buy a property, right? Like you've saved for so long, you had this massive deposit, probably the most money you've ever saved in your bank account at one time, right? From there, then you have to be so okay with you having pretty much nothing in your bank account. You obviously do want to always still have a little bit of extra savings because we all need rainy day savings and emergency money and whatever it is. So you do want to try and save to the point where you haven't just saved the deposit, you've got a little bit of extra money, because trust me, there are so many extra fees involved. You don't want to be cut short when it comes to that. So keep saving and prepare yourself for that, because it's a lot of money to be able to transfer. For you, all your hard work, it can be a little bit of like post-saving blues, but it's, you know, it's still going towards yourself, and that's the thing that you have to remember, especially when you're paying off your mortgage at the end of the day. And ultimately, you do kind of want it to be negatively geared, so eventually you can save it back on tax come tax time. So you have to be okay with the fact that that money that you're spending every single month, especially if you're not living in it, it's still technically going back towards you. You know, it's like, just think of it as like another savings account that you're putting it into. And to follow on from that, making sure that you do have a good team on hand to be able to support you during the process. There's a lot of ins and outs. There's a lot of extra legal fees, lawyers that need to be involved, a lot of documents, a lot of things that you need to overview, and you want to make sure that you're well equipped and you have the right people to be able to cross-check everything, because these kind of things you definitely don't want to go wrong with. And so something else that I can also say as well is just being disciplined with your spending habits. Audit your bank account frequently. You'll be surprised at how much money you're actually spending on things that you're not even using, those extra subscriptions that you're not even watching, right? Like, go do an audit of your bank account, see what's coming in, see what's going out, do a proper full audit. You'll be surprised at how much extra money that you can start saving. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So if you've got someone around you as well that's saving more than you, or you've got someone who's doing better than you, see where you can be in their presence more, because that's going to inspire you. And to summarize how I brought a $2 million property portfolio by the time I was 21, I made sure I had a savings goal. I worked really hard towards that. I had that long-term goal in mind. I made sure I brought off a plan and I had the right team around me, and that's how I was able to do it. So guys, that's pretty much all for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you do go subscribe. I do so much more than just property. I do so much when it comes to business and other investments as well, which I love and am so passionate about talking on. So make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other videos and exciting things that we get up to. So to summarize how I brought a $2 million property portfolio by the time I was 21 is I made sure I had a savings goal. I worked really hard towards that. I brought off plan.